Okay, now I'll work on the intake and install the EGR cooler to the intake. The kit comes with new gaskets. You could use the old ones, but if the kit comes with new ones, might as well use them. And a whole bunch of these little aluminum or tin gaskets for the EGR. My cooler was missing. I think it has like a little nut down here that slips on. I'm actually using these M6 1 and M6 bolts. Got them at AutoZone, I think for under $3. Has these tabs on them. These go towards your intake, be it like this or like this, but it goes towards the intake, not towards the block. This tab goes towards the inside of the intake. Again, the tab goes towards the inside of the engine valve. Okay, we're ready for installation. Don't forget that the other side of the EGR cooler will also have like this little metal tin gasket enclosed by your clamp. This is what I'm going to use. This method is a combination of the manual, the tech manual online, and the Haynes manual. The numbering system refers to the bolts on the intake, and basically it's a two-step process. First you hand tighten all of them in the sequence that it's supposed to be. And then, like it says there, the first step is 96 inch-pounds, 9 to 16, which is basically the driver's side only. And then 96 inch-pounds, all bolts, 1 through 16. Okay, some of the things I did while off camera because it decided to overheat was torque down all the intake bolts. Make sure you don't pinch this line right here. Well, the one you have to bolt down right here. It goes down here, so just make sure it doesn't get pinched in the way. Lowered this back because it was, I don't know if you remember, we bent it to take the intake out. And let's proceed before this thing decides to overheat again. Adding a little lube so you can slide in. Definitely, I think it would be easier if you actually install it, if you install the EGR with the rubber hose provided. Make sure you adjust the V-clamp while installing it. It seems to have gotten pinched between the high pressure oil pump housing and the EGR cooler, so I'll see how I can fix it. Torque specs on these things, it's like 108. As long as you don't mess up the V band, I guess you're all right. Don't over tighten it. That's my main point right there. Okay, turbo pedestal goes mounted with that apex towards the truck. turbo pedestal should be mounted at torque down to 23 foot-pounds. I ordered a new drain back tube from the turbo. Comes with 2 O-rings. One's for there, the other one's for this side. On the instructions, it says to measure from that little lip that you see right there, that lip to the edge. In my case, it is 23 millimeters, or about 7/8 or 15/16. Anyways, I don't think it's necessary, but the instructions say so. For some reason, I have to do it. Reason being, if you go in and then you pull out, there's a chance that you might tear the O-rings. So anyways, there it is. I marked it. Dab some oil on the ends. That one easy. Alright, there it is. Now to bring back the turbo. Okay, now before installing the turbo, I think I should install the wire loom, and then I should connect the lines to the oil, to the new oil cooler, distributor, whatever, before installing the turbo, because I think it'll be harder to tighten these bolts once the turbo is here up on top of things. So let's get started with the wire loom now. Now these just snap into place. Don't forget your ground wire. If you remember the last valve cover bolt on the driver's side, it seems like the threads were wasted, so I'm gonna try to put some, very fine strands of copper. It's just basic wiring. Gonna stick it into the bolt, the hole, and hopefully the bolt will actually grab onto that, because it is very tight to tap and die a new Healy coil in there. There. That worked. Now for the important part, we need to prime this system before actually running anything. So it's best if you have somebody to tell you when oil starts coming out of that side while you fill it up from, I think it's hose 3, which is the one on the passenger side. Notice how it's actually the path is right there through where the AC lines go in, under the battery tray, under, I guess, what is it, AC lines again, up and over, and that'll give you the correct position to that outlet, I believe. No, inlet. Okay, once you got that, fill up the filter, screw it back on. Okay, so the priming of the oil cooler, the radiator part, or the cooler plus the filter, it's about a good 3/4 of oil. I don't know how much it would have been if I wouldn't drop so much at the beginning. Maybe get a smaller container, get like a quart and start pouring that, because the gallon is too much to pour little at a time. Make sure the drain back aligns so it can snap on. Okay, the turbo oil drain back, this part goes something like that. The kit comes with, I believe it's 3 bolts for your turbo, the gasket, the 2 seals that go on the drain back, on the turbo drain, and another screw that goes to mounting the turbo oil line. So let's replace this one. I already screwed up one of these, so I'm going to use grease this time. I used engine oil on the other one and that didn't work, I guess. Kind of pinched it because it wasn't going in straight. It was going at an angle and kind of pinched it and it ruined it. It cost me $5. Important lesson: don't use that bolt to screw down the turbo oil pipe. Otherwise, the oil supply gasket might pinch, which it did in my case, and it'll break. Your oil filter housing has a gasket that is supposed to be reused in this oil cooler. I didn't know that at the beginning, so I actually cut it just to make sure I wouldn't confuse it, but the kit does not include it, so I had to buy one. It's approximately $8. I don't know if it really needs it since it's just for decorative purposes, but I don't want it wobbling around, so I guess that's why I'm gonna install it. Make sure to push it in all the way so it doesn't slip out. I'm almost positive, even though it doesn't explain in the manual, that these 4 hex bolts, I believe, are going to be the ones that hold the fuel filter and the oil filter housing to the oil cooler. Okay, the original bolts should go in here, but as you can tell, they are way too long now for this application. There are some bolts that come included in the kit. I am almost positive those are going to be the ones for this. The 2 longer ones are going to be for this side. They're a 6mm hex Allen. Okay, definitely I think I should have installed the oil filter housing before the oil supply to the turbo, and maybe even this other output oil line to the oil cooler. Things are difficult. You don't want to overdo it. Then, you know, again, it's aluminum. You don't want to get so crazy on it. You don't want to ruin the threads. Snap that into place. This goes back there. It's gonna go there. It's gonna go there. This is the one they call the Banjo Bolt, and I believe it's gonna be it needs to be the copper washers need to be replaced whenever you mess with it. This one goes like this on the side. There we go. The Banjo Bolt goes on here. It has a copper washer on each side of this, or that part right there. It says it has to be replaced every time you mess with it. These are the parts. They come now with like a little rubber gasket around them. It's 11/16. Also for the one back. 13/16. And a 3/4 for the Banjo Bolt. To relocate the power steering cooler, I am going to probably fabricate some sort of bracket with flat bar that'll somehow screw into maybe the existing holes. Find a way where I can actually stick it out to where it can bolt on to the brackets, or the existing brackets of the cooler. Probably some flat bar somehow, maybe even just weld it, I don't know, to the frame, but make it go out flat so I can bolt it down in case I need to service it. Just don't plan to. We'll see how that goes. With a new bracket installed, hopefully the cooler will fit right here in this hollowed out space. If you want to take off the bumper to make this easier, I guess you can. I was able to install the bracket and the cooler through this little hole right here in between the bumper. Came out all right. I just had to bend it a little bit to keep it off of the AC condenser. But other than that, it looks like it's gonna work great. Right now I just have to hook up this hose and it should be good to go. Just like that. There are the two lines. The homemade bracket. And it should look good. It's just, this is kind of important because if it's anything like my 7.3, the brakes depend on your power steering, the height boost. Now that our lines are connected down there, I can take the liberty of cutting the lines up here, since I just looped them to make it easier to install. This one has a natural curve to this way, so it's going to go to the bottom. It is plastic, so you want to be gentle with it. You don't want to break it off. Make sure the ground is already grounded to that nut right there. Let's get ready to install the fickum. The fickum bracket that doesn't have a little stud goes in the back. The bracket that has this little stud right here goes to the front. This connector had to be replaced because I believe this is the one that's causing all the surging. It has these 3 clips that are clipped onto back here, right here in this area. These 3 clips. So you break that off, and you lift these little tabs that each outlet has. These pretty much break them off because you're going to replace them anyways, and you can push each wire out. It'll pop out and it'll look like this. The reason I'm doing that is because I need every bit of wire available. I don't want to cut into this. I will probably splice it right through there. Eventually I might solder the thing together with the new. It does come with these waterproof, I guess, butt joints. So we'll see. Try to keep the order right. I want to make sure you keep the same order. Bottom by itself goes with the blue. So I don't really trust these things. I'd rather just solder them together. I might do that if the thing doesn't clamp down right. Right, which is like a red line. Goes with the red. Actually, they are color coordinated. This one has a blue line, goes with the blue. This one has a red line on it, goes with the red. And this one has a white line, which goes with the brown. Usually a torch is better for this, it's just I don't have access to mine right now. See, they're sealed up. There you go.